This video is intended to assist in the installation of the Hadley SmartValve. Use the installation manual included with your SmartValve kit for complete instructions specific to your vehicle make. Remove the current height control valve to prepare for installing the Hadley SmartValve. Save the linkage bolt, washers, and nuts for use with the SmartValve. As you disconnect the suspension lines, clearly identify them with the label, such as masking tape or anything convenient. Or simply add the push-to-connect elbow fittings to identify them as your suspension lines. Now, disconnect the supply line. Remove the nuts from the mounting bolts to release the mechanical valve. If your vehicle has a dump feature, you'll need to disconnect the dump line. Once the mechanical valve is detached from the mounting bolts, the supply line, and the dump line, save it and store it with the vehicle. The kit for 6x2 vehicles includes the SmartValve, the dump valve, and the mounting bracket. Refer to the manual for your specific vehicle. Assemble the dump valve using the included ports and hardware. You will then configure the SmartValve and dump valve as shown here. Connect the dump valve from your kit to the supplied mounting bracket. Position the dump valve assembly with any required spacers between the SmartValve and the vehicle bracket. Install the SmartValve to the existing vehicle bracket, ensuring the valve is horizontal using 2 1/4-inch 29-lock nuts and 2 flat washers from the hardware kit. Torque the mounting studs to between 70 and 80 inch-pounds using a 7/16" wrench or socket. Notice how this hose isn't squarely cut. Make a clean, straight cut with a line cutting tool. Clean the ends with alcohol to help prevent leaks. Confirm that plumbing of the air suspension matches the plumbing diagram. Reroute the lines if necessary. Use one of the supplied push-to-connect elbow fittings to attach the existing supply line from the vehicle. Connect this supply line to the end of the swivel tee, which is connected to the dump valve. Insert the 3/8" tubing directly into the remaining port on the swivel tee. Attach a 90° or elbow push-to-connect fitting to the end. Route and connect this elbow fitting to the suspension port on the SmartValve. Insert the 3/8" tubing directly into the 90° or elbow port of the dump valve, which is shown already attached here. Attach a 90-degree or elbow push-to-connect fitting to the end. Route and connect this elbow fitting to the suspension port on the SmartValve. Now, insert the vehicle's rear tag axle supply line into the 90-degree or elbow port on the dump valve. Although it's not visible here, this elbow port is located on the opposite side of the visible elbow port on the dump valve. If the vehicle had previously operated with the dumping height control valve, you will need to insert a 1/4 inch plug into a 1/4 inch union jack and attach it to the end of the dump supply hose to cap off the line. Secure this with zip ties. Remove the harness from packaging. Apply a small amount of dielectric grease around the end of the 12-pin connector. Plug the 12-pin connector into the electrical end of the SmartValve. Push until it clicks. Use the gray 2-pin connector to join the harness to the dump valve. Push that until it clicks. Wrap both harness connections with electrical tape to keep moisture out. Bundle and wrap the loose ends to prepare for routing the harness to the truck cab. Route the harnessing along the inside of the tractor frame to the cab firewall. Secure along the way with zip ties. Feed the harness through an opening in the cab wall and continue routing the harness on through the back of the cab's interior dash. Refer to this wiring schematic in the installation manual for connecting the harness to the SmartValve interface module. Crimp all terminals to wiring harness ends and insert into the interface module as shown. Identify a location for the chassis grounding wire. Make sure to measure the resistance between the potential grounding location and the negative post on the battery. This measurement must not exceed 2 ohms. Use the vehicle fuse diagram to locate a source for ignition and battery voltage. Make sure that the battery and ignition source are on an isolated circuit. Secure wires and mount the interface module. Refer to the dash diagram before drilling. Mark the locations on your dash for installing buttons and LED. Drill the necessary holes and install push buttons and LED. Clean the dash with alcohol to ensure good adhesion. Apply labels as indicated in the manual.